26th and 27th. Got special dates you want to remember. We have with us in studio, Vaughn Mosher is here from Benedict Associates, also Dr. Jennifer Card from the Center, Just Center, Captain Just Center, and we also have Jody Cummington here, part of the Bermuda Health Foundation. Good morning, guys. Nice to have you in studio as well as overseas.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Jody, I want a good morning from you. Jody, hello. Well, I'm not hearing Jody. All right, Jody, should be hearing her. She's on air, but we're not hearing her for some reason. Anyway, so guys, good morning to you. Nice to have you here. Tell me a little bit about your association. You're with Benedict Associates.
Benedict Associates, yes.
How are you guys teaming up in terms of this Bermuda Health Foundation?
Well, we've known each other for years. In fact, Jennifer spent some time at Benedict prior to her doctoral degree back 4 or 5 years ago. But we've known each other for years. We're each participants in this seminar coming up at the end of the week.
All right. And Jennifer?
Yeah, so really excited to be part of this Bermuda Mental Health Foundation conference and move the conversation forward in terms of mental health here on the island, and excited to be partnering with Vaughn on this and among other participants as well, and speakers this Thursday and Friday. Thursday's a virtual event, and I'll let Vaughn talk a little bit more about the structure of it. Friday will be in person and virtual as well.
And Jody, you can step in real quick right now. Jody, I got you up. You hear me now?
Yes.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Good morning, Bermuda. I'm actually home. I'm on island.
Oh, you're on island. Should have came up.
On island.
I thought you were way off somewhere.
No, I'm here. I'm here this time.
Well, yeah, it's all happening this week, isn't it? The 25th and 26th.
Absolutely.
All right, so
yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So this is the Bermuda Mental Health Foundation, not the Bermuda Health Foundation.
Oh,
I'm just going to clarify. And the Mental Health Foundation has organized a 2-day conference. We've been talking about it for some time. We're excited. We're almost there. And this conference is entitled, as you mentioned, Moving Forward Together, bringing together just about 20 different professionals that are talking about 14 different topics over the 2 days. Day one is in person. Day one is virtual and can be watched from anywhere in the world. And day two is bringing it back in person. And we're really excited. I mean, we have dynamic speakers. We have dynamic topics. We have 2 of our dynamic speakers in the studio with you. And this event is really about giving our community something to help move us forward in terms of our mental wellness.
All right.
And so, really looking forward to Bermuda coming out and registering and participating so we can work together to make sure that we all are in a better mentally healthy.
All right, we've come a long way. All right, so the first date, October 26th, is virtual, and the second one?
Chubb and Barrett. So they've put some bucks forward to make this sort of thing happen. And although I've been around a long time, I can't recall anything like this actually being done that's as full and comprehensive as this is going to be. So I'm quite excited about being involved in this. Mental health has sort of taken a back seat for a long time, where people who work in the field work in silos, and this is going to be not only a great networking event for other professionals in the community, but it's free, and it's for businesses, it's for individuals.
For clients.
People can sign up for it, register online. I'll tell you more about that at the end, but it's for everybody.
And this is the first 2 Vaughns on the panel. Don't get confused when they call your name.
No, I'm involved in just the virtual part on Thursday, but we can talk more about that in a minute. Whereas Jennifer is going to be live up close and personal on 2 occasions on Friday, so people can go to BUEI and see her, and that's virtual as well. But I'd like to say something about the title, Moving Forward Together. I was taken with the topic even more so after this last Saturday night. I don't know if you know about Curb and the banquet that went on to honor Dr. Eva Naomi Hodgson and her life's work. And there were a dozen awardees there. And obviously we all know the organization is for uprooting racism. Well, what I found in parallel in being at the banquet, we were sponsors of the Curb banquet as well. But I was so moved that, in fact, this is a similar dynamic, not that mental health and racism have anything in common, but the awareness and the openness and the notion of moving forward together is very, very parallel to what occurred at Curb.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also think that the pandemic has had an impact on the conversation about mental health. I think it came to the forefront. Yeah, and I think people realized that, you know, it's the humanization of organizations, I like to call it, that we realized that these are people and these are the greatest assets for organizations, and we have to take care of not only their physical health, but also their mental well-being as well. And I think there's a conversation that is continuing to grow, and we all know how to take care of ourselves physically, whether we do it or not. We know that if we sleep, we eat well, we do all these things, but we also need to proactively take care of our mental health. And there are many different things that we can be doing that are proactive activities to support our mental health. And I think to Vaughn's point too as well, it takes a community effort.
Sure.
And
yes.
I think even when one person's thriving in that environment of the community, it helps to move the needle for everybody in that environment. It's contagious.
Yeah, the station has been focusing on homelessness recently, and that is a whole area of mental illness as well, or mental health, I should state. And I think that for far too long, we dismissed it as something over there. Mm-hmm. But now things are right in front of you. You cannot dismiss it. You cannot look away. It is a community situation that we all have to deal with, and we have to come to grips with.
Absolutely. It's a symptom of a greater, larger, complex problem. And I think that, to your point, that even the more visual it becomes, the more we realize how deep it goes. And I think as a community and an island, we need to continue this conversation in terms of supporting everyone on this island and where they're at.
You mentioned the pandemic, and I got to tell you that a lot of people took them a while to realize the effect of the pandemic, whether it was isolation, whether it was reclusiveness or whatever. I can't use big words like you psychologists, but I'm saying, but basically a lot of people changed, socializing changed for the people, and we're slowly coming around. There's no time date or stamp on when you will get it together, is it?
No, and I think to your point, there's been this low riding level of stress for everybody, and I think we turn to our work and we put our efforts into our work to almost say, well, at least if I can get this done, and then everything's okay, and I'm in control, and I think there's a big reset that also needs to happen. I think there's still a lot of overworking that's happening, and to kind of get those stress levels down and get those well-being levels up so that everybody can thrive. And there was a term during the pandemic that came to the forefront as well, this idea of languishing, which is just slightly below par in terms of where we used to be, and sort of realizing
energy.
And yeah, exactly. We're like, our energy reserves are like batteries, and we just need to keep doing proactive activities to fill those batteries, which supports not only ourselves but our communities.
One of the areas I'm concerned about are the youth, the children. With many of them missing school, missing that opportunity to compete and socialize and be together in a school environment. That affected a lot of children, and we still haven't got the answer for that, what's going on with them. Are you guys going to be addressing, I know you're dealing with the community, families, and parenting and all that. Will you be discussing, children and all that?
Yes, we will. I wanted to just flash back for a second with what we were talking about, what Jennifer was saying. I'd like to piggyback on that. And I think we need to clean our language up as well when it comes to these issues. And so often when a person hears the concept of the words mental health, they immediately think mental illness. And I like to think of it as a continuum from very severe mental illness on into mental health is not just the absence or lack of mental illness. In fact, as Jennifer has said, there's this idea of thriving or flourishing, and that's to the far right in the continuum of flourishing is high-level well-being. But there's a whole continuum in between. A lot of what we see in Benedict is the people who are not flourishing, would like to. But it's not mental illness either. They don't need psychiatric help. It's a lot of life issues. Well, that's right. And what you were saying about COVID and the time out that we took as a world community, we Benedict literally went into Zoom mode, both technologically and figuratively as well. We were seeing probably 30 or 40% more people on Zoom than we would for the incidence and prevalence of people coming forward for mental well-being issues.
All right, I got to ask both of you, like, if I broke my arm, I'd know that is a medical issue. When it comes to mental health, there are a lot of deniers out there, even the person himself, let alone people around them. How far have we come in terms of now saying, okay, mental illness is just like any other illness, medical or whatever?
Let me start off. Go ahead. You go first.
Yeah, no, I think to your point, it's about self-awareness, and I think it's about the normalization of the conversation of mental well-being. Like, if I were to ask you right now, how's your physical health, you would probably be very comfortable in discussing it. If I were to ask you the same question, how's your mental health, would you be as comfortable with that conversation? And I'm guessing
definitely
from the general,
not.
Yeah, definitely not.
Excellent point.
Yeah, and yet at the same time, we can still, the more self-awareness, and I think from our point at Center too, is a lot of it's about education. So that you are aware of symptoms, you are aware of feelings, you are aware of where you're at, and that increase in self-awareness, so that you can do those proactive activities before it gets to a point where it's going to be just harder to come back to that normal state. So
we're a small community, and I think a lot of people have stigmas, and they worry about what their neighbors think and their friends think and all of that. So they're not always quick to come out and talk about it. A place like Benedict Associates on the center, you get to have one-on-one with counselors and people like that who can probably help you. But I'm concerned about access to the masses, to everybody.
Well,
Jody, you can hype in anytime you want to. I don't think we've forgotten you.
I can say too, with the employees assistance services that Benedict offers, people come in for what they define as the issue they'd like to talk about, and I would say well over 85% realize that there are concomitant issues that are interrelated, and that the initial reason that they made the appointment was just the surface, and not that there are deep and dark areas that need to suddenly be brought out into the light, but rather multifactored. And when people can kind of take a look at that and see that, oh my God, there are 5 things here that are interrelated. And then, all right, let's deal with number 4 first, because if we deal with number 4, that'll knock out 2 and 3 in terms of getting to solutions. So it becomes far easier than many people would realize. My topic is on Thursday is around men and mental health, and so that is a topic that was assigned to me, and I've really looked into it and have found all sorts of things. Like, even in our own business, I've looked at data over the last 3 years, and it's about a 2-to-1 ratio of women coming forward compared to men. And I can say that when we work with couples, there's a distinct difference as to how the men relate when I see each member of that relationship on their own and when I see them jointly. I realize that a lot of men are actually able to be more forthcoming when they're on their own.
Yeah, and I think to your point, I mean, Center offers EAP as well, and it's nice that there are several EAP providers on the island. And I think the first step, to your point, Captain, is that if you are, assessing yourself that you might be struggling a little bit, is to ask your HR department at your organization if you have an EAP, use it. I think the utilization rate of EAP programs, it's underutilized. And I think the more that this conversation makes it less stigmatized, that you can just go, and it's not a big deal. It's very confidential. Your HR department won't know why you're going.
But I think because it's company related, a lot of people don't.
That's right.
Know. They don't want to.
Yes.
Yeah, and no, that data is not shared. So it is anonymized. People can do it very privately, and it is covered through that program. So it's definitely something to look into. And it doesn't have to be where you reach out to your EAP providers when things have gone so far along that you can actually go early, or even use it for proactive things like coaching. I know our EAP program includes coaching as well. So I think to Vaughn's point and your point too is to look into that.
Don't be afraid.
Employee assistance programs,
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Now, again, the mutual registration, you can get access for that. How do they go about registering either way, in person at the BUEI or?
It's so easy. They actually, registration is online. They can just go to www. And it stands for Bermuda Mental Health Foundation. So it's www.bmhf.bermuda.bm.
That's all you got to do.
Yep.
Jody, let me have a word from you at least. Jody, speak up. Jody! Anyway, I don't know why she's there. She may be just tuning out and letting you guys do your thing. But but very, very interesting indeed. You want, how many people, is it going to be in the Trade Winds Auditorium at BUEI? Is it going to be a big enough area for people to come? Or do they need to register to come, right?
That's right. Yes, they do need to register. But it's free. And it's even though Friday is in person, if people want to come to some of it in person, they can register. They can see some of it online. In the registration, it allows for Friday to be either virtual or in person or both.
All right, so please get involved. And if you should need the services of these two organizations, these groups, Benedict Associates, how do they get a hold of you?
We're in the book. If people still use telephone books, we're online. It's www.benedict.bm, and it's just Google Benedict, and it comes up.
All right.
And we are www.center, that's CENTRE, the English spelling, .bm. You can reach us there as well.
All right. And Jody Compton, I know you're there.
I am here.
Yeah.
There she is.
I want you to get a word in here.
Of course, thank you for that. Yeah, so Bermuda, if you're listening, this is the week. This is the week that we're doing this thing together. This is the week that we want to see everybody register and come out and participate. I do want to mention that the in-person sessions also include lunch, complimentary, and this is all free. The registration is free. Registration for in-person is free. Lunch is free. There's only about 140 spots for in-person. Those are almost gone, so if you are interested in attending, please don't wait. We want to know you're coming because there's lunch. We want to prepare for you. And then obviously in person, anyone that's listening, check out all of the topics. We're dealing with topics around children and social media, topics around, I'm actually really excited about women, the imposter syndrome and Superwoman syndrome, how we have to do it all, and how it affects our mental health as women. Of course, men, teachers, we have you covered. We have individuals in the workplace covered, and what burnout and anxiety looks like. So come out, check out the topics on our website, bmhf.bm, and we are looking forward to moving forward together, and thank you guys for having us. And shout out again to the sponsors that have made this all possible. Proud BSNM, Barrett, thank you guys so much.
All right. It's a free community event, Bermuda Mental Health Foundation. Again, I'm excited to announce this upcoming two-day conference, Moving Forward Together, taking place again the Thursday the 26th and also Friday the 27th. The conference is going to feature local professional industry stakeholders and a couple of range of topics, all right? But it's all related to mental health and wellness, and they want to see your face in the place. Again, the first day is virtual. The second day is at the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute. Been talking with Vaughn Mosher and also Dr. Jennifer Card. And also Jody Cummington. Nice talking to you guys. Have a great day. And
thanks so much.
Thanks, Captain.
With the conference. All right.